What's up, everybody? My name is Godzi, and welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry questions arc. Last episode, it's heavily implied that Goda, George, and Shannon just got fucking murdered, so that's fun for them. Also, I turned on my heater, and then all of a sudden, it's ridiculously hot, and now it's ridiculously cold. Fuck, it also set you to 65. Bitch. 70 is apparently too hot, but 65 is just right. Except 65 is too cold, because 66 is the perfect temperature, but fucking guess not, whatever. I've had a weird weekend. It snowed like... Oh, cool, and it just shut off on its own, because apparently it's already 65. Fine, 70. It snowed yesterday, it snowed 3 days ago, but it didn't 2 days ago, and it didn't today, so that's interesting. Maybe it'll snow a fuck ton tomorrow and I won't have to go to school. That's doubtful, but I'd rather have a 3-day week than a 4-day week, you know? Whatever. Whatever, let's just get back into this. After Genji finished his late meal, he went out to do the nighttime rounds inside the mansion. He'd eaten some reheated soup that Goda had made, along with some random leftovers from the refrigerator. Those were all things Goda had made himself, and were of course delicious. Little does he know that he's dead. He had half-heartedly gone to ask Rosa and the others what they would do for dinner, but he'd been yelled at by a voice telling him that the canned food they had would be enough, and the door wasn't even open for him. So ironically, the servant Genji was able to eat a more delicious meal. But why was it that Genji wasn't afraid to do the rounds all by himself, even though all those crimes had been committed and many people had already met a brutal end? Judging by his appearance as he carried out his usual tasks without a trace of fear, as though everything was normal, you might think all of the horrible events that day had been no more than a dream or an illusion. Was he taking a philosophic view, or had he just accepted his fate? Genji must have considered it a virtue that, when the fate that awaited him was unavoidable, he carried out his duty systematically until the last moment. The depths of his heart would probably remain hidden for all eternity, unless he spoke of them himself. And I need to shift in my seat again, because, this blanket is sometimes good and other times it's horrid. But whatever, this should be good now. He had returned his master key to Rosa, so the places he could reach were extremely limited. All he could do was walk around the hallways, checking to make sure all the windows were closed. That probably made his rounds go a lot faster than usual. What's he doing? Alright, move the microphone a little bit. There's a little dust on top of it, and... Oh, nope, it's still there. Alright, that shouldn't have been audible, but if it was, I'm sorry. At the sound of a reserved knock, Aunt Rosa, who had been falling into a doze, jumped and woke up, pointing the barrel of the gun at the door as she yelled. Who is it? I was napping on a sofa, and that voice also brought me back to reality. Okay, we were asleep. That's probably important. Rosa, it is I, Genji. Do you have some business? Don't worry about opening the door. Tell us from there. Yes, ma'am. In that case, forgive me for speaking in this fashion. I have found Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa's corpses. What did you say? I see. Very well, let's go and check them. Until I see the corpses, I won't believe anyone. Oh, it's okay, Battler. If you stay with me, it'll definitely be okay. Maybe my face seemed to be darkened with anxiety. Maria grasped my hand with her small hand and spoke softly, trying to give me courage. Courage! Okay, Sora, goodbye. Since it was Aunt Rosa's job to ready the gun and stand guard, it fell to me to remove the barricade of sofas. When I finished, I took a backwards glance at Aunt Rosa, who was pointing the barrel of the gun over my shoulder, and opened the door. Genji, where are their corpses? In the courtyard. I shall guide you. Battler, wait! Just in case, let's check the doors and windows of this room. Wait a second. Aunt Rosa called me to a halt to prevent me from going on ahead and began to carefully check the locks on each of the windows. But those locks had already been checked once. It felt kind of unpleasant, as though she suspected that I might have secretly unlocked them when she wasn't looking. No, maybe Aunt Rosa was right to be this cautious. I mean, they were asleep, weren't they? It stands to reason that Rosa could have done something. Who knows? Though it was called a courtyard, it wasn't really a pretty place you could take a walk in like the Rose Garden. On the contrary, since it was surrounded by the mansion on all sides, it made you feel a little uncomfortable, as though it was telling you that there would be no escape from this mansion no matter where you tried to run. On the other hand, that meant that even though we could still hear the violent winds, the wind itself was blocked. So it's not windy in the courtyard? Okay. Genji held out an umbrella, but Aunt Rosa ignored him. Shut off. Okay. She was probably hinting that the gun took 2 hands, and it would be dangerous if she took the umbrella. We didn't need Genji pointing for us to notice. Right in the center of the courtyard, we could see where Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa lay. Aunt Rosa entered the courtyard without even opening an umbrella, so Genji and I also entered the courtyard without opening one. Only Maria opened hers. Maria, is this you-know-what?
Ew, it's the 7th and 8th twilights.
What? 7th and 8th? Huh? Why are they 7th and 8th? At that time, it had a weapon shaped like a stake rammed into its ankle. With this, even the 8th twilight is finished. So his is in his knee? Yeah. That doesn't make much sense. So their bodies were stabbed with stakes afterwards. That's only a little strange, but okay. I see. Certainly, just as Genji and the others said, there are horrible wounds on their necks. The cuts are quite sharp, almost as though they were sliced with a katana or something. Those gaping wounds on their necks definitely made me want to avert my eyes. But after seeing that Halloween party in the chapel, even though they looked horrible, they were no longer enough to make me feel sick. More importantly, our gazes fell to their legs, to Dr. Nanjo's knee, to Kumasawa's ankle. Driven into each of them was something like a knife or a stake with a demonic design. They must have been the same as the thing that had pierced Jessica's back. What is this? It's just like what happened to Jessica. Is this supposed to be some kind of occult ceremony, I wonder? I do not know. The last time I saw their bodies, there was nothing like these. Maybe it was done after they were carried out of the servant room. That would only make sense. The one stuck into Dr. Nanjo's knee was still standing erect, but the one that had been thrust into Kumasawa's ankle might have been a little shallower. It had come out and fallen over. So by looking at the one that had fallen over, for the first time I realized that it wasn't a knife, but something like a stake. Its full length was probably about 30 centimeters. It was probably made out of bronze or iron or something of the sort. Even without touching it, I could tell it had some weight to it. It was composed of a grip and a cone-shaped part, and it was obviously made to be a piercing weapon. Maybe it was like a miniature version of those lances Western knights used on horseback. The spiral-shaped ditches in it made it also look like a small drill. However, the grip had an occult design modeled off a demon or something. So instead of a weapon used in war, it felt like something that would be used in a ceremony to offer up living sacrifices. There's no mistake. They're meant to be sacrifices.
On the 7th twilight, gouge the knee and kill. On the 8th twilight, gouge the leg and kill.
Wait a sec. That means they've left out the 4th, 5th, and 6th twilights. Could it be? Of course. Why is Genji alone? If something like this has happened, why aren't George, Goda, and Shannon here? Why was Genji alone? What's going on? Where did George and the other two go? They said they wanted to search for something in Madame Natsuhi's room and they left. They have not returned yet. Who's talking? What did you say? You say they left, but when was that? 2 or 3 hours ago, I believe. No way. Why didn't you tell us something that... Wait, no. Why didn't you think that was suspicious? There must be at least one servant on standby at all times. It was my duty to wait for orders until they returned. Was Genji really this much of a robot? This is bad. This is bad. It's really bad. Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa were killed like this, which means that 3 people have already been killed. We ran towards Aunt Natsuhi's room, with a touch of anxiety and just as much resignation. And let me guess, it's another fucking closed room. Well, at least the courtyard can't be a closed room. Before we even saw the inside of Aunt Natsuhi's room, we were forced to resign ourselves to a certain fact. On that door was a bizarre scribble. No. Filth? Oh. Okay. Anyway, the room wasn't in an ordinary state, and without even opening the door, we can imagine what we'd find inside. On the face of the door, how should I say it? Handprints, done heavily with the same red paint as the magic circles from before, had banged on the door, scratched at it, dirtied it. It looked like the aftermath of a kindergartner playing in the mud. I didn't know what it could mean. The bright red paint that had been slathered on was dripping down, and even though no one said it, it made us think of blood. Genji, please open it! She has the keys. Aunt Rosa held her gun up high and ordered Genji to open the door. Genji approached it without seeming particularly troubled by that stuff on it and turned the knob, but immediately turned around, shaking his head. It was locked. At that moment, there was only one person in this mansion who could lock and unlock doors at will, Aunt Rosa. So if the door's locked and the three in there are truly dead, which they almost definitely are, and Battler, they mentioned specifically Battler was asleep, I feel like the only person who could have killed, those three was Rosa, right? Unless there's some red truth that Beatrice is gonna be like, oh no, she did nothing, she just stayed there the entire time, she did nothing, not a damn thing. And the only other key to the room is inside the room, it never left. Which means the three in there would have had to have killed each other, right? Which I suppose is technically possible. This time, Genji asked Aunt Rosa to unlock the door instead of the other way around. After frowning slightly for a second, Aunt Rosa handed me a master key and told me to open the door. Battler, would you open it for me with this? Just trusting Genji with something like that wouldn't. Aunt Rosa glared at me intensely. Getting into a fight here would only make the mood turn even more sour. This is probably one of the best songs in the game. I mean, I know that I've said that about like every single song, but I honestly think this one's super good. Without talking back anymore, I approached that creepy door and tried the knob. It didn't open. It was definitely the resistance of the lock. I stuck the master key into the keyhole. Clunk. There was a slight resistance. Aunt Rosa told me to be on my guard, and I opened the door without really guarding myself in any way. And then there was a scene laid out before us that didn't betray my expectations at all. Exclamation point! Horrible! As I thought, it's a reproduction of the 4th, 5th, and 6th Twilights. Alright, yup, it shows that. Christ. Ew, right in the stomach. Died in Natsuhi's room with his stomach pierced by a weapon shaped like a stake. At the 6th Twilight, gouged the stomach and kill. It was possible that they would have ended up as the 2nd Twilight. Oh, and she was the one with the head. Died in Natsuhi's room with her forehead pierced by a weapon shaped like a stake. At the 4th Twilight, gouged the head and kill. She spent her last moments with her beloved. And Goda died in Natsuhi's room, with his chest pierced by a weapon shaped like a stake. At the 5th Twilight, gouged the chest and kill. The cook was cooked. Kihihihihi. Ah, interesting. Good one. Wait, hold on. If the stakes aren't strong enough to pierce through, like, the skull or the chest or, like, the knee or whatever, is it possible that they were just warm? Like, if they're hot enough, would they go through? Like, 1,000 degrees or something? Like, they just heat them up extremely high and just blam? Or do they launch them out of something? Like, I don't think it makes any sense saying, oh, they're just extremely hot and they pierce them in the chest wearing, like, extremely heat-resistant gloves or some stupid shit like that. It doesn't make sense, and it's probably not what happened. But, yeah, the cook was cooked. I guess that's just a pun, and it just threw me off. The inside of the room looked as though a robber had just broken in. Drawers had been flung open, pulled out, and had their contents thrown about all over the place. Leaving the room so cluttered, you'd never believe it belonged to the methodical Aunt Natsuhi. But the very first thing that caught our eyes was Goda's corpse laying face down right in front of the door. Right in the center of his chest, almost as though it had been stuck there to finish off a vampire, was one of those demon stakes from before. Exactly how far could it have reached after being stuck that deeply into his chest? Just imagining it would make anyone's chest hurt. Wasn't gouging the chest the fifth twilight? Ew. Maria grabbed my hand. Her expression looked just like normal, but maybe she really was afraid of the aura in this room where 3 corpses lay. And along the wall farthest into the room, George lay dead. This time, one of those stakes had been rammed right into the center of his stomach. Wasn't gouging the stomach the 6th twilight? Shannon's corpse was face down in front of the dresser, lying in a sea of blood. Had she seen her own face at the end, in that horribly broken mirror stained with blood? Because she was lying that way, I couldn't see her face, but I could guess even without seeing it. Nearby, in the sea of blood she lay in, a demon stake had fallen. Only the 4th twilight was left. Gouge the head and kill. Maybe my heart was totally worn out and dead. Even though I knew it was wrong, I lifted her head and checked. And I confirmed that my guess had been right on the mark. There was a gaping hole in Shannon's head, and the insides were dripping out. Not only that, but you could even see inside her. After seeing that, I finally realized I was doing something wrong. I immediately averted my eyes, but by now it was probably pointless. Hey, Battler! You mustn't touch anything until the police come. What do you think you're doing, touching it? What will you do if our precious evidence on the scene gets disturbed? Disturbed, rather. Aunt Rosa got violently mad at me and even tugged at the back of my collar. Oh, okay. I tottered limply and fell on my butt, gazing dimly up at the ceiling. Maria.
Yep.
With this, even the 8th twilight is over. What was the 9th twilight again?
On the 9th twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive.
I see. After this, the Golden Witch Beatrice will be revived. What then? On the final 10th twilight?
On the 10th twilight, at Journey's End, you shall attain to the power of the Golden Land's treasures, once and for the last time. Very soon, the door to the Golden Land will be opened. Very soon.
The witch shall be revived and none shall be left alive, huh? So who even survived? Kinzo survived. Okay. That's a little bit surprising that he survived doing nothing this chapter. Quote-unquote Beatrice survived. Genji, Rosa, Maria and Battler are just way too good at surviving. We're gonna die now? Or does this mean the ceremony of sacrifices is over? And that now at Journey's End we'll reach the Golden Land? What is our journey? We spent the whole day trying to find the culprit, spinning our heads as we tried to break out of the situation, and we haven't gotten anywhere. It's like they say, thinking stupid is no better than sleeping. That's right, we've spent the whole day burning ourselves up with hatred and paranoia. We were so sure we could only trust the dead, that we came all the way here just to confirm these 3 deaths with our own eyes. If we're like this, why should we be able to make it to the Golden Land? That's right, if we couldn't resolve any of our problems anyway, it would have been so much better if we'd locked ourselves up the whole time without thinking at all. Grandfather's the wisest of us. He's been shut up in his room since yesterday, without any contact with anyone. That was the right decision. Grandfather was the most correct of us all.
It's okay, Battler. If you're with me, you'll be okay. The witch is very fickle, and she's a terrifying being who might kill humans partly for fun sometimes. However, if you're with me, you'll be okay, so don't be afraid.
Thank you. Even if you're just saying it to console me, I'm glad. After Aunt Rosa finished investigating their corpses, she announced that she'd seal this room again. Chased the rest of us out, stole back the master key she lent to me, and locked the door again. Apparently, George had been holding the key to Aunt Natsuhi's room. She also collected that. Wait a sec. She's got all of the master keys on her person. If Natsuhi's own key was locked up inside this room, doesn't that make it another closed room? So what, is this the 4th closed room? Are we gonna womp over to Battler and Beatrice now, B&B? Now that the suspicion surrounding those 3 had been cleared, we returned to the parlor once more. I don't have a clue what's going on anymore. If only the dead are innocent and everyone alive is a wolf, that leaves only me, Aunt Rosa, Maria, and Genji. And besides us, there's only Grandfather and that 19th person, the guest we've seen no trace of, Beatrice. 13 people have died and 6 are left. How would a wolves and sheep puzzle with only 6 people end? Even though a puzzle that started with 19 people has been reduced to 6, I can't think of an answer. Interesting. We returned to the parlor. I was a bit worried that while we were gone, a creepy magic circle or something might have been drawn on the parlor door, but thankfully we didn't find anything like that. Thank you, Genji. This is far enough. Please rest for today. Certainly. Then please excuse me. Hey, Aunt Rosa, are you saying you'll leave Genji all alone in a situation like this? That's right. I do think it's quite dangerous. But in that case, why is he safe? After those 3 headed to Natsuhi's room, he was alone the whole time, and yet he's safe. It's a wolves and sheep puzzle. Why would a sheep be safe if it was all alone, and therefore in its weakest possible position? Probably because, by coincidence, there weren't any wolves around. Wrong. It's because it wasn't a sheep. Are you saying Genji's a wolf? He said he was alone in the kitchen, but that's impossible to prove. The only ones who could have carried Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa's corpses, who could have killed George and the rest, were him and Beatrice, right? And Kinzo. Wait, with that argument, anyone... Battler, thank you for your concern. I believe trust is won not with 100 excuses, but with simple faithfulness. Even if I am not able to gain your trust, I wish to be faithful until the end. Genji. Then we're decided. If you truly are innocent, the police will prove that for us when they come tomorrow. So until then, we cannot remove you from suspicion. After your long years of service, I find it truly painful to treat you so poorly. But please understand about tonight. And when tomorrow comes, please let us make up again. Genji gave his head a small shake. Today and tomorrow, I will continue to be a servant of the Ushiromiya family. If you need anything, please say so at any time. Then, if you will excuse me. After hearing all that, there was nothing left to say. Genji bowed deeply and left down the hall. Okay. Then, we entered the room. Even though Aunt Rosa still held all of the master keys herself, she thoroughly checked the inside of the parlor again. She opened the curtains and checked again to make sure the windows were locked. As I watched, how should I say it? I felt like it didn't really matter anymore. If I said anything careless, it would turn into another fight. For a while, I gazed at her from the corridor. Figured I'd waited just about long enough and entered the parlor behind her. If she doesn't trust anyone but the dead, why doesn't she just go around killing everyone with the gun she's got in her hand? And then in the end, she'll realize that she herself is the wolf. Then she can just blast through the head of the final wolf and close the curtain on this insane murder drama. As I thought that bitterly, I returned to the sofa where I'd been encamped before, rudely resting both of my feet on the table. When I tried to do that, I found something there and stopped moving my feet. What is this? Ah, another envelope, of course. Right there, almost as though it had been addressed to me, was a Western envelope. It was that envelope from before, with the seal of the one-winged eagle, and it was unopened. Wait. What is this? Who put it in a place like this, and when? Until I went with everyone to check the corpses, I was sitting here the whole time, and there wasn't anything there then. And when I returned, it was here. It's okay. Everything's still locked up. Wait, is this Rose? It's okay. Everything's still locked up securely. This room is safe. I heard Rosa muttering that. Wait. We made sure this room was safe when we left it. We checked that the windows were all perfectly locked. Then we locked it up, came back, and the windows were still locked. Then, wait, who put this letter here, and how? I opened the letter. 2 pieces of stationery came out. The first page had a magic circle drawn on it with something like blood. If I asked Maria, she'd probably know what it meant. And there was writing on the other page. Have you made progress in solving the epitaph? In just a short while, your time will be up in a flash. The 9th twilight will begin quite soon. There was no mistake. It was a letter from Beatrice. Rosa entered this room before you, didn't she, Battler? She could have put that there, so...
Battler, what is that?
When we came here just now, it was sitting right here.
What happened, Maria?
Huh? Battler, that letter? Wait, it was sitting right here. Why? Even though we checked to make sure this room was locked. Why? Why? She's gonna start suspecting Battler, isn't she? Maria, come here. Fucking hell. Aunt Rosa closed her eyes just a little, and after thinking silently for a moment, told Maria to come. Maria obeyed her mother's words. As she did, something unbelievable happened. Aunt Rosa pointed the barrel of that gun at me, go figure. Battler, I've concluded that you are a wolf. Why? This is a new song. When I came into the room just now, I saw that there was nothing at all on the table. And I know that Maria did not approach that table. We're talking about a short stretch of time. She's using fucking Natsuhi reasoning. But the only one who claims to have approached the table and found that letter is you. How can you... Wait, that's all screwed up. Why would I put something like this here? Wait, I just found something suspicious and reported it, right? Why are you suspecting me? Because only you could have set that letter there. That's right, this is all a charade. You pulled an envelope from your pocket and then acted as though you just found it. To create the illusion that the witch entered a closed room, set down a letter, and left. Rosa said it there. Dumbass, are you thinking like that again? Are you going to suspect me because of something like that? Cut it out! My dad and everyone else were killed. Why would I take part in the culprit's scheme? True. Even if you were offered a large sum of money, I don't want to believe in the existence of the sort of demon who could sell out their own parents. Then again, maybe such a demon does exist. No, that's a bad way to say it. What if you didn't view Rudolph and Kyrie as your parents? What? Think about what you're saying. Dad is dad, right? Of course I'm not related to Kyrie by blood, but she's like a big sister to me. No way in hell I'll let a comment like that slide, you bastard.
Oh! Stop it! Oh!
Stop saying ooh. I'm sorry, that was a bad way to put it. True, Ushiromiyas Battler may be Rudolph's child. But are you really that Battler? What the fuck? What the hell are you talking about? If I'm not Battler, who else do I look like? All of us, including Rudolph, are seeing you for the first time in 6 years. No one can prove that you really are Ushiromiyas Battler, right? Meaning you aren't Battler, but someone who snuck in, making a skillful bid to steal the wealth of the Ushiromiyas family. Can you clearly prove that you're Ushiromiyas Battler, right here, right now? Cut it out, damn it! I'm me, Ushiromiyas Battler. If we're gonna suspect even things like that, are you really Ushiromiyas Rosa? I'm myself, no one else. Yeah, that's right, it's just as you say. You can't trust anyone but corpses and yourself. If you're gonna go that far, let me make an objection. George and the others were found dead and Aunt Natsuhi's room was locked. George had the key to that room, right? And by now, the only one with a master key is you, Aunt Rosa, right? Aren't you the only one who could have unlocked that room? My theory goes like this. Oh, he's gonna start yelling down at Rosa, great. You're in contact with the real culprit. And while I wasn't looking, you lent them one of the 5 master keys. I didn't do something like that. See, there are 5 of them here, right? As if that matters. You could have had them set it in a prearranged spot and collected it, right? And weren't you the one who doubted whether there really were 5 master keys? So, how do you suggest that someone other than yourself placed that letter there? Until you find proof someone else did it, you're a wolf. Shut up! Then why don't you show me some proof? How do you claim the culprit killed George and the rest in that closed room? How did they lock it? Alright, here's the womp. That's exactly right. Natsuhi's room was exactly the same, just like usual. The door and windows were locked from the inside. There were no frauds or tricks, no means of secret passage nor places in which to hide. Natsuhi's own key was in George's pocket, and the inside of the room was sealed off. Only the 5 master keys were left, and Rosa was holding all of them. Why is Rosa in quotes? And let me say this, the parlor's the same. The key to the parlor itself is sealed away in the servant room, so unlocking it without a master key is impossible. The definition of a closed room remains the same as always. Come on, now there's only one suspect. Or are you still playing innocent, Ushiromiyas Battler? Shut up! You shut up too! You're the one who should shut up! How do you claim the letter was placed here by anyone other than you? Unless you can prove such a thing happened, you're a wolf. If we can suspect me, then we can suspect you too. So try showing me some proof yourself. And anyway, weren't you the first person to enter this room and start checking the windows, Aunt Rosa? Then you guessed that I'd go back to where I'd been sitting and secretly put the letter there. It's possible for us to suspect that this is a trap of yours, right? Why Why would I use a trap like that? If I was a wolf, I'd shoot you with this gun without question. That proves nothing. Maybe you chose the roundabout way of setting a clever trap because you couldn't commit murder in front of Maria. All the master keys are in your hands. So what happened, both here and in the last room, was all your doing, right? If you think you can talk your way out of this, then let's hear your excuses. That's right, you've been suspicious from the start, Aunt Rosa. Why is it that even though 6 adults in the family conference were killed, you were the only exception? Why were you the only one not in that chapel? There can only be one reason. You invited Dad and the rest there and killed them. Damn it, damn it. That explains everything, doesn't it? Don't fuck with me, don't fuck with me. Stop saying things that don't make any sense! Rosa's pissed. Guarantee that.
Oh, stop it! You mustn't fight! Mama too! Battler too! Stop it! Stop it! It's no one's fault! It's not Battler's or Mama's fault! The witch did all of this! It was done with magic! It's no one's fault! Oh!
Maria thrust herself in between Aunt Rosa and me as the blood started rising to our heads. I was taken aback by Maria's crying voice and returned to my senses. I had acted shamefully just now. My eyes filled with tears. That's right. It's all the witch's fault, isn't it? All this about keys and tricks and alibis. All of it was stupid. Even though it's the work of the witch, we weren't even able to trust each other as humans. Right, Aunt Rosa? From the beginning, there wasn't a human culprit. It was all the work of the witch. So there's no way you're the culprit. And there's no way Maria, Genji, or I am either. Why has it come to this? Why am I screaming at Aunt Rosa, who I loved? Why am I having this fight with the kind aunt I loved so much? Why? Why does everyone have to suspect each other? I'm not gonna suspect my aunt. I'm not gonna suspect anyone. It's all the work of the witch. It's all the work of Beatrice. It's all a crime that Beatrice committed with magic. Beatrice, please show yourself here and confess to us that you did everything. I'm sorry already. I'm sorry we've been suspecting each other like this. So forgive us. Release us. Release us from this hell of suspecting each other until we see each other die. Give me my kind relatives and cousins back. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it all. You definitely exist. It's your victory. Show yourself. Oh, Beatrice. Beatrice! Am I talking? Man, Battler really is my grandchild, isn't he? I'm the goldsmith! That's my line! Okay, now what's going on? Am I still alive? Oh, it's Kinzo. Am I still alive? Apparently some time ago, Kinzo had fallen into a doze. He searched for his spectacles and looked at the clock. It was 10 p.m. That person's ceremony. Let's see, how far has it progressed? It must have come quite far by this time. Kinzo lifted his heavy body from the chair and approached the portrait of the witch that he had gazed at every day. Beatrice, very soon I will have a chance to be reunited with your smile. I care not if I die. If I can just see your smile one more time, I will not regret this life. So for heaven's sake, let me meet with you one more time. Then let me swear my love to you. Let me apologize for my crimes. Whoa. But I won't let you escape. You are mine. From your hair to your toenails, to the dirt under your toenails, you are mine. Every fragment of your flesh is mine. Even the broth of your corpse is mine. I won't let you escape. This time you won't slip from my hands. I'll make you mine for all eternity. I will never let you escape a second time. I will never let you escape a second time. Kinzo howled in rage, then suddenly fell to his knees as he shook and scraped at the wall. In an instant, he had started sobbing. That's wrong. I didn't want to say something like this. Beatrice, please, let me see you one more time. Even if you only let me apologize. Beatrice. Your beloved, yearned for. I was mistaken. If you would just smile, I wouldn't need anything else. I made a mistake. I made a mistake back then. I did something that cannot be taken back. In atonement, I offer all that remains of my life. In order to apologize to you, in order to atone for my crimes, I offered everything. Please, even if it must happen as I die, at least let me apologize. Just once. Beatrice.
Screaming is difficult. And so is Kinzo's voice on my throat. It sucks. As Kinzo shook and cried, a butterfly appeared out of nowhere behind his small back like a flake of gold leaf, and softly descended. Christ, what an idiot. You fool, Kinzo. Did you think any woman out there would fall for a man's tears? Well, even if it wouldn't make a human woman fall for you, it might do the trick for a woman who is not human. Kinzo, do you remember that game of chess you played with me, which is still ongoing? Kinzo, as though he had suddenly remembered something, approached the chess set. It was as it had been during the game he'd played with Nanjo until yesterday. After knocking all the pieces off the chessboard, he began to line them up again one by one. It was a setup for an ongoing game. That's right. Like this. I advanced my queen. That was quite a spectacular move. Perhaps it was a little too intense for you. I worried whether you'd abandon your piece or not. Worried for so long. Kinzo waited with the opposite seat empty. Surely, very soon his opponent would appear there, and he would be able to restart this game again. You fool, Kinzo. You want to apologize? You want to see my face again? You want to make my smile an eternal thing? Why can't you say a much, much simpler word? Even though that is the sole element of this world. Love, right? At that time, Kinzo muttered. Was it a prayer? An entreaty? It was probably best to just call it muttering. I love you, Beatrice. They were pure words, like something an innocent child would say, without any evil intent. You really are a fool, Kinzo. If you ever have the chance to do your life over again, know that those words will never cause a woman to fall for you. That's right, not unless a miracle happens. That's what makes this. At that moment, Kinzo definitely heard a small knock, one with a tempo that differed from those of the servants. Who is it? The woman beyond the door didn't answer. I'm asking who you are. Will you not answer? The woman beyond the door didn't answer. Could it be? Oh, could it be? Beatrice? Beatrice? Beatrice! Sorry. The woman beyond the door answered. On the 9th twilight, the wood shall revive and none shall be left alive. Okay, those are the womp flowers, but nope, it's not gonna womp quite yet. Oh boy, really big clock. Is it 11? Oh, a little past 11. 11:30. Even better. Ooh, music. Ding, ding, ding. Battler's figure was in the dining hall. He didn't feel like going back to the guest house in the middle of all this rain, and wandered half-heartedly around the mansion in search for any place where he could sit, before setting up camp in the dining hall. He didn't even lock the door. He thought the shapeless murderer, maybe the Golden Witch, might come to kill him now that he was isolated, but he no longer had any desire to resist. He didn't even feel like using a locked door to hold off the culprit. He wanted that person to come at him openly from the front. If it was the killer, he wanted to ask them about some of those wonderful closed room tricks as a parting gift. If it was the witch, he hoped she'd at least take his life with some spectacular magic. However, ironically, neither of these two came to meet him. Oh boy. Battler opened the liquor cabinet on his own and enjoyed the liquor to his heart's content. No longer was there anyone to scold him for drinking alcohol. He boldly rested his legs on the extravagant tablecloth and savored the high-quality liquor, which probably had a mind-boggling price, drinking it down straight from the bottle. Christ, dude, calm down. Then, someone knocked. Battler realized that someone had finally come to greet him. Hey, it's not locked. Whoever you are, please come in. And go ahead and introduce yourself. If you're human, please give me your name. If you're Beatrice, please tell me your bust size. Battler is super drunk. I may not look it, but I'm well known as a breast sommelier, you see?
It is Genji, Battler. Genji, huh? Sorry, but I've got no interest in your bust size. Please, come in. It's unlocked. Excuse me. Genji opened the door and bowed. So is Genji the criminal after all? Or maybe an accomplice? That theory would probably explain most of the tricks. Did you come to give me my last rites? Nothing of the sort. I apologize if I am disturbing you. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Saying I'm sorry without even telling me what you want is actually pretty creepy. What do you want? Are you gonna tell me that drinking alcohol is forbidden for minors? I'll just die anyway. Please, let me do what I want now that it's all about to end. Battler, do you love alcohol so much that you would spend the little time you have left drinking? Those words pierced me. That wasn't true. Dots. I just can't cope if I don't drink. I can't even taste the alcohol at all. You are just like the Master. Indeed, you inherited the Master's blood strongly. You mean grandfather, the heavy drinker, was drinking to drown his sorrows the whole time? First I've heard of it. After several sad incidents, the Master's life was reduced to one of atonement alone. Oops, I keep on hitting the scroll wheel. What is it you know? Beatrice's ceremony was completed when the 8th twilight ended. I believe I can tell you everything now. What did you say? My drunkenness was completely blown away. I lowered my feet from the table and listened carefully to hear what Genji would say next. Battler, I shall guide you to the Master's study. It would probably be best to hear it directly from both the Master and I. From both grandfather and... Hey, what in the world do you mean by that? Come, this way. I shall guide you, Battler. After Genji told me to follow him, he started to walk down the corridor. I threw my drunkenness off completely and went after him. Oh. We climbed a big staircase towards the 3rd floor. Genji stopped walking halfway. He then turned back and spoke. Battler, from here on, you will probably see things you will not be able to understand. Don't think that'll scare me. I've already seen enough incomprehensible things today to make me sick. Please, accept what you see as you see it, and accept what you hear as you hear it. Why? What? There's no need... Why? What? There's no need for questions like that. You will learn the truth and that is all. I will leave it completely up to you, Battler, whether to accept it, believe it, or deny it. Genji checked one last time to see whether I was prepared to know the truth. The 8th twilight had already ended, and on the 9th twilight, the witch would revive and nobody would be left alive. It meant that Beatrice had already been revived, and it probably also meant that none of us would be allowed to return alive. If I was going to lose my life anyway, I wanted to know the truth in the end. It didn't matter how hard it might be to accept. Yeah, even if a demon or a witch shows up, I'm prepared. Indeed, you are just like the Master in his youth. Battler, please be diligent in your studies. In the future, you will surely have great aspirations. And when that time comes, see to it that you are never forced to regret a lack of study and training. I'd be happy to, assuming I ever get a chance to work hard in my studies. Dots. Genji's silence felt like it was further confirming a certain resigned feeling I had. And so... Now what? And then, the door to Grandfather's study, surrounded by a sweet smell, came into sight. Genji took a gold key with an elegant design out from his pocket. The master keys had been confiscated by Aunt Rosa, but he'd kept the key to this study alone on his person. He put it in the keyhole, and it made a heavy clunking sound. Master, it is I, Genji. I have brought Battler with me. There was no reply, but it seemed that permission to go inside had been given. Come, Battler. Please, go in. Okay, I'll go in. I readied myself and threw the door open. Sayo... No, this is when I should have said that. Sayo... At that moment, I got slightly disoriented by the dazzling golden glow. It was unbelievably a swarm of butterflies that shone gold. The gold butterflies that completely filled the inside of the story poured out all at once. What is this? It was almost like golden leaf confetti. The interior of Grandfather's study was filled with a golden glow. And on a sofa like a reception chair in front of the study desk, I could see Grandfather's back. There was someone on the side opposite from Grandfather. It was in shadow, so I couldn't see it well. Master, I've brought Battler. Battler, is it? I'm busy thinking now. Be silent for a while. Kinzo declared that unhappily, his back still turned. It seemed he was enjoying a chess game with a visitor. Apparently, the opponent had counterattacked with a superb move. Kinzo seemed to be enjoying himself as he thought deeply, while occasionally laughing and groaning. I have thought for 30 years. I have thought for 30 years about how to counter this move. Have fun with the move I have fermented for 30 years. Indeed, this is a deeply matured move. What fun, what fun. I see I'm no match for you. What is this? So you came, Battler? I've been waiting for a while. Be silent for Kinzo's sake. Isn't it too early to resign, Kinzo? I could have countered that move in several ways already. It should have been my first meeting with that witch. However, I knew this witch. Okay, so this Battler is certainly different from the Battler of the first game. It's not like it's the same Battler living vicariously through Battler from another timeline. Got it. However, I knew this witch. Even though it was our first meeting, I knew her from the portrait. Genji, serve some alcohol for Battler. What would be an appropriate liquor for this man? That which the master has loved since the days of his youth. Good, serve it. You did well coming here, Ushiromiyas Battler. First, sit down. You called my name many times, did you not? In deference to that, I allowed you to meet me. So, what will you ask me? What will you inquire? The door of the Golden Land will soon be opened. Soon, we will have a banquet to celebrate my revival, at which I will be welcoming in the witches. In the meantime, I'll answer your questions, as many as you like. Welcoming in the witches? Does she mean the other witches that actually exist? Or does she mean like Maria and Rosa? Is she calling them? I don't know. I've got a bunch of things I want to ask. What happened on this island? And why did incidents like these occur? I want to ask about the closed rooms too. What about the chapel? What about Jessica's room? And the servant room? And Aunt Natsuhi's room? And the parlor? There's so much more I want to ask. About the witch's true nature. Is Beatrice really a witch? What's your goal? What do you want to make us do? And why did you call me here? Answer me about everything. Be quiet. You think you'll get answers if you ask. Don't say that, Kinzo. A fragile and fleeting spiderweb did offer protection from King Herod once. Just like there are no useless things in this world, there are also no useless questions. Very well. I'll answer all your questions, but only on one condition. What is it? If you hear everything and are able to accept my existence, then you will kneel and kiss my shoes. I called you here because I wanted to make you surrender to me. Kinzo and I made a bet. We bet on which would come first. Kinzo thinking of a new move, or me making you surrender. I don't think I'll lose. Damn you, talking so tough. Yeah, alright. Try and convince me. Try and convince me that you're a witch who can use weird, awesome, powerful magic. If you surrender, I'll kiss you or do anything else. The witch cackled gloatingly. Then she glared at him unpleasantly with eyes that said a man can't go back on his word. Well said. So, from what question shall I begin? I'll answer everything. Come, what will the first one be? Oh, now what? Oh, the credits? Okay. Then the witch started to tell everything. Chapter 2's over now? That was abrupt. She began answering all of Battler's questions. Everything made sense. He was convinced by all of it. And then Battler had no choice but to admit it. The witch certainly did exist. Damn. What's followed is a story that needs no retelling. When the king falls and you are defeated, it's time to start reflecting on your finished game. And then all you can do is set up the pieces one more time. Doop, 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 doop. X. 10? Is it supposed to be a 10? The 10th Twilight? Second game, Turn of the Golden Witch result. Doot, doot, doot. The credits are a little slow. Ushiromiyas Kraus died on the first Twilight, chosen by the key, yep. Ushiromiyas Natsuhi died on the first Twilight. Ushiromiyas Eva died on the first Twilight. Ushiromiyas Hideyoshi died on the first Twilight. Ushiromiya Rudolph died on the first Twilight, and Ushiromiya Kirie died on the first Twilight. It feels awfully coincidental that those 6 just happened to be randomly selected for the first Twilight, but whatever. Ushiromiya Jessica died on the second, pierced by stake of Asmodeus. Cannon died on the second Twilight, pierced by the stake of Satan, which is really weird. I mean, I guess all the stakes are supposed to be named after demons. Shannon died by the stake of Mammon, Goda by the stake of Beelzebub, George by the stake of Lucifer. So I guess that weird blonde one that we saw was Beelzebub, okay. Nanjo by the stake of Belphegor, and Kumasawa by the stake of Leviathan, okay. The witch Beatrice, revived on the 9th Twilight. She finally opens the door to the Golden Land. Kinzo, missing on the 10th Twilight. After he acknowledged the existence of the witch and prostrated himself, the witch invited him to the Golden Land. Rosa, the witch did not invite this woman, who denied the witch's existence. Maria, she acknowledged the witch. Genji acknowledged the witch. Battler, will he acknowledge the witch's existence and be invited to the Golden Land? The witch shall praise the wise and bestow 4 treasures in the Golden Land. Therefore, they chose to revive the dead souls and the love that was lost. After all, if their desire had been a mountain of gold of any size, they would not have been able to receive it. Kinzo chose the person he had loved and lost. Maria chose the lost love of her mother. Genji chose a peaceful sleep. I really need a nap. Christ, let me sleep. Sleep peacefully, Beatrice. Let nothing disturb your slumber ever again. The winner is the Golden Witch Beatrice. Because time ran out before any of the 18 could solve the riddle of the gold, all 18 died. When the seagulls cried, none were left alive. And then there were none. And there's the name of the game again. Umineko When 7th expansion presents Welcome to Rokonjima When They Cry 3. I probably asked this before, but is Higurashi 1 or 2? And if that's the case, and it's only 1 or 2, then what's the other one? I don't get it. Maybe it was just, like, really one of 7th expansion's first projects, and it was just really bad. Oh, Shatter. Neat. Oh, what's the time? Oh. 5 of 12. Okay. And so? Have we... Is it completely done? No, there's still something. Oh, there's still more. Okay. Where are you, Beatrice? Show yourself, Beatrice! Rosa finally arrived at the chapel. She pointed her gun around her, screaming the witch's name, but there was no way she would receive an answer. After grimacing slightly, she noisily approached the table where her sibling's corpses still lay exposed and stretched out her arm towards a gold ingot. Does it show... No, okay, it still says, oh, even though it did say that they're all missing, they're still here, okay, sure. It was very heavy, but Rosa didn't mind. She wrapped that one up in a blanket and threw it over her shoulder. At least just this one. This alone should be worth over 10 million. She just wants gold. Rosa totally did this one. Without letting go of her gun, Rosa picked up the gold as well. Her shoulders were screaming, but Rosa didn't mind.
It will happen very soon. Very soon the door to the Golden Land will open.
Stop laughing with that creepy voice. Where is Beatrice? Yeah, I know. She's around here somewhere, right? You know where, right? Where is she?
I don't know. Even if you don't search for her, you'll be able to see her in the Golden Land.
Ouch. Stop laughing like that. It almost makes me want to laugh. That's right, there was definitely a witch. Definitely a witch. I didn't understand. I thought she was a human calling herself a witch. But I was wrong. That really was a witch. I won't be fooled by something like that. You're there, right? Come out. Show yourself, Beatrice.
I told you, she'll appear very soon. The door to the Golden Land will be opened.
Okay, sure. Now what? I didn't think there'd be more after the credits. That's right. Isn't that splendid? I care not. I abandon that rook. You, woman, are a king that cannot be reached without the resolve to lose everything one has. I'll corner you, Beatrice. At least call me a queen. Oh, what a brilliant move. So your blood? No. The Ushiromiyas blood is bad at giving up. How pleasant! What a truly elegant night! Master, Beatrice, it will soon be time for the banquet. Already? That was fast. Every night I pass with you goes by swiftly. The moon falls like an apple, and the sun leaps out of the river like a small fish. It is time, so let us go. Rise, Battler. The banquet to celebrate my revival will now begin. I'll introduce you as my new furniture, no, as my toy, to the dignitaries among witches. The witch was relaxing elegantly, her feet thrown out from the sofa and resting on top of a footrest. However, the footrest wasn't a part of the sofa, but a human down on all fours. You good, Battler? Beatrice, your silk dress. You are the guest of honor, but I am the host. I will go out first. It would have been nice if Shannon were here to help dress you, but unfortunately it seems she no longer remains. She's never around when I want to use her, an entirely useless person. However, you did well to remain here. I'm happy, my friend. I am grateful for your words. Good. Wait downstairs, you two. Genji, good work. Set the dress down over there. Certainly. Well then, Master. We will go first. Beatrice, I will see you later. Indeed. Kinzo and Genji left to study. After that, the witch and the dress and the furniture remained. You good, Battler? Do you know why I am not embarrassed to show myself to you naked? It's because you're furniture. Furniture! Understand? Furniture. Just furniture. Who would feel shame at exposing their body to furniture? So there's no reason for me to feel shame in front of you. I mean, what if you're afraid of couches? The witch rose and her jacket slipped off, just from her shoulders. After that, the jacket fell to the ground with a thump. When the furniture respectfully approached to pick up those clothes, the witch gave it a small kick and it fell over. The furniture was afraid of what misconduct it might have shown. Do you as furniture plan to force me to unbutton myself? Stand and undo the buttons, one by one with care. Quickly, gracefully, with no mistakes. The guests are being kept waiting, so change my clothes quickly. Yes. Undo them with care. Those buttons are each worth more than one of your eyeballs. If you make a mistake and break them, I'll sew your eyeballs in instead. Okay. That's only a little weird, you know? Don't know what happened to Battler, but oh. The entrance hall was bustling with a crowd of shadowy people, and it sparkled gold with the gold butterflies flying about. The gentlemen in suits and tuxedos and the ladies in dresses looked like they were having a great number of friendly chats. At a glance, it might have looked like a fabulous medieval ball, but they all had one thing in common, and that thing was exceedingly bizarre, because all of them had goat heads. Oh, what? Was it a goat mask masquerade, or did they really have goat heads? It probably couldn't be the latter, but in this bizarre world, I really didn't know which was true. Kinzo was amongst those goat nobles, greeting them. Kinzo's greetings were more respectful than would have been expected, as though these were all honored guests. At that time, Genji's voice rang out through the hall. It was a voice calling for silence. That voice stopped the idle chatter, and everyone turned to face Genji. Tonight, we celebrate the appearance of our golden witch, who has achieved her revival, the Lady Beatrice. Everyone, please welcome her with your applause. When Genji began to applaud, it quickly spread through the guests and became a roaring ovation. Great, it's Beatrice. Then the Golden Witch appeared from the top of the large staircase. As she gracefully waved her hand, followed by a piece of furniture she was fond of, she slowly descended the staircase. The goat nobles offered unanimous words of celebration in some long-forgotten language. They're just Sims. And those who were deeply intimate embraced, filled with joy at their reunion. Are all these goats supposed to represent the dead people? I suppose it's possible. As the witch offered greetings of reunion, the witch's furniture followed behind her the whole time. There was a chain around its neck. The other end was gripped in the witch's hand like it was a trained dog. It wasn't there to restrain him. Those chains were a restraining device whose only purpose was to wound the furniture's dignity. He wasn't permitted to wear anything else on his body. Oh great, it's Burn. Fucking hell, hi. Been like 8 years. One of the young women goats mixed in with the goat nobles. Quietly removed her goat mask as the furniture passed in front of her, and she spoke with eyes that had no light in them. That face seemed to belong to a long-haired young girl. How pitiful. Oh, Lady Burncastle. Welcome. Do you like my furniture? That's a nice hobby. After saying only that, the witch called Burncastle once again put on her goat mask, and was swallowed up by the shadows of the other tall goats. Sore loser. She's ticked off, isn't she? Who's talking? You're not wrong. The young woman goats giggled, and the witch once again let out a high-pitched laugh. Thank you for gathering here for my sake. Why don't we enjoy the fullest, this banquet of the witch, where old friends have gathered from past and present, east and west. Come, we will eat all night, drink all night, slurp all night, and chew to bits all night as we enjoy ourselves. Look at the clock as it marks when the ending hour and the beginning hour melt together. Come, let us begin the banquet of the witch. When the witch announced the beginning of the banquet, the large clock pointed to 2400, and the sound of a bell began to ring out. Come, now is the time. Open the golden door. Okay. This is only super weird. Oh, it's that sound again. Wham bumper, wham bumper, wham bumper, wham bumper. What's with all the fucking dots? Okay, layer after layer after layer of just magic dust. All at once, the butterflies leafed in gold flew all around the inside of the room. Amidst the golden storm and the brilliant gold-colored light, the barrier between this world and another was cut open. Oh boy, there was a womp. Surrounded by the goats' delighted voices, the mansion of the human world and the mansion of those not human overlapped, and the members of the household who praised the resurrection of the Golden Witch scattered into gold butterflies, and poured out of the depths of hell. It was a golden tornado, a rondo of golden demons. Come, tonight we will put aside rank. Throw open the wine cellar, drop the snake's head into the liquor pot, throw cows and chickens into the furnace alive, drink and eat and sing and dance, sneer and kill and desecrate and degrade. Ah, Beatrice, take me to the Golden Land now! To the Golden Land! Oh. Oh. He just breaks out into song. The goat nobles were suddenly crushing in around Kinzo, almost like they were kids demanding the signature of some famous movie star. There were only two differences. First, these were witches, not kids. And second, what these witches demanded was not a signature. The sea of goat nobles began to drown Kinzo. Only Kinzo's laughing voice echoed throughout the area. Oh, and he's great. Fuck, I should have stayed in my room. It was a grand mixture of laughter and his death throes. And Kinzo became wine and meat and bread. An aroma of slurped, a rich taste of gnawed, and pleasant to tear to bits. Yeah, bullshit. The sound of his death throes lingered on sweetly, and if adorned with melted chocolate and golden argent, it would make a wonderful dessert. If you took the bones home, you could also use them in a soup, and the remains could even become toys for the children to play with. And they could also become splendid tools for a fortune-telling that always brought misfortune. That entire scene was watched by the furniture. It was all fantastical. It was all demonic. Was the quaking of its supposedly paralyzed heart proof that it could still feel fear? At that time, its knees buckled, and the furniture's body fell down in the middle of the carpet. After all, the witch had kicked those knees from behind. Kneel and show your respect. Rub your forehead against the carpet and show how vulgar you are. Put your hands behind your back and swear that you will offer all your flesh and blood to me. The furniture let out a painful voice. Fear is the most basic emotion humans have. Was that emotion reviving a sense of self, which should have already been slain? So you are still far from suitable for my furniture. Very well. I will carefully finish you, making you into the kind of furniture I like, the kind fitting only for me. As you are now, I doubt you can offer more than entertainment for our guests. The goat nobles were surrounding the crouching furniture. It seemed their blazing, blood-red eyes couldn't hide their ecstasy at this new young food they'd been given. And from the ugly teeth that stuck out of countless mouths, saliva, or maybe the traces of meat and wine that they had just eaten, dribbled down. Eek! As the furniture let out a wild scream, it retreated, still sitting on its backside. But the circle of goat nobles was closing in. Then the furniture looked at the witch's face. It had surrendered to the witch, so, believing that the witch would show some compassion, it stared at her face in the end. But there was nothing but scorn on the witch's face, and she wasn't even facing the furniture anymore. The witch went off to greet an honored guest with whom she had crossed gazes. And then Battler dies. The goat nobles looked down upon the furniture. Actually, they had been waiting. Just like how one must remove the cork in order to drink champagne, they had to wait for one thing before partaking of the offering served at this banquet. I can't read. Of course, the furniture didn't know about this thing, but it came out of his mouth all by itself. Just like the unavoidable pop of a cork, it inevitably came out of his mouth. Ah! It was a scream. It was a sign that marked the beginning of the modest banquet at which he was to be served. Oh my god. Achievement unlocked, Banquet of the Witch. Gabubo Gyaguki Boryu. Yeah, as if I'm gonna be ever able to say that. That's like some supercalifragilisticexpialidocious shit, except they're all the same syllable. Like, could you remember saying Subumukudu? If you can't remember every single syllable of that, you're not going to remember that. By now, the garden was one of both roses and gold. A gold-covered garden where gold butterflies, gold fairies, and gold lizards rampaged and flew about wildly. Maria, quickly, run! Quickly, 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 quickly! Rosa grasped her gun in the blanket wrapped around the ingot, and ran at a speed Maria couldn't match, sometimes pausing to call out at Maria to run faster. So she saw it every time. She saw the golden pursuers chasing them from the mansion. Where are they running to then? The mass of gold butterflies was chasing after them like a massive crawling hand, and strange-looking shadows with goat heads were chasing after them. There was no need for her to strain her eyes, because those blazing pupils told her what would happen if she was captured.
Mama, wait! Mama, wait! Ow!
Maria fell down. For just an instant, Rosa was ashamed by thoughts of abandoning her daughter and running away, and at the instant her feet touched ground, she ran back. Oh, hi. The goat head that sprinted over to get the first bite grabbed hold of the back of Rosa's own child's hair and pulled.
Ah, no!
Rosa rammed into the goat with her shoulder, spun, bashed the back of her elbow into the goat's jaw, and buried her knee into its protruding chest. And she thrust the barrel of the gun inside the goat head's mouth as it doubled over from the pain in its gut. Just try laying one finger on Maria in front of me. I'll show you just how lukewarm the hell you came from is. The blast from the Winchester's .45 caliber long Colt bullet exploded inside the goat head's throat, and its medulla oblongata was instantly pulverized. Christ, the goat head hadn't understood. It had thought women were like pre-opened wine bottles. It had thought that turning them upside down would immediately make their deep red contents come out.
Mama! Mama!
Maria, who had been released, hugged Rosa. But the pursuers were still coming. They could see the giant goat heads, who had given up pretending to be human, running towards them from across the rose bushes. Rosa spilled several extra bullets, which had been in the pocket of her coat, all over the place, and told Maria to pick them up.
Yes! Pick up, pick up!
Maria, if Mama falls down, run. Go to the shore, and swim, and swim, and swim. There's nowhere for us to survive on this island.
No! I'll stay with Mama! Ew!
Oh, she's shooting something. Rosa's gun roared 4 times, but even though 4 shots really did hit the massive approaching goats in the chest, they didn't even flinch. The goats ran with a violent vigor, as though they planned to crush Rosa and Maria with those massive bodies. Put the bullet in! Quickly!
Ew!
Rosa grasped the blanket with the ingot in both hands, and she herself sprinted, pulling it along, without even an ounce of fear of those strange-looking giants. If it's to protect my daughter, I'll overcome even hell. I'll show you this golden dream! Oh, fuck. Rosa roared. The goat heads roared. That terribly heavy ingot, after picking up a fearsome centrifugal force and speed, slammed into the head of the goat head. Rosa pulled a fountain pen from her pocket, but she held it crooked, She placed it in her palm, in the gap between her middle finger and her ring finger so that it stuck out when she made a fist, almost like a stinger was growing out of it. That stinger sliced into the left eye of the goat head as it fell over. Was the goat head's roar a scream? But Rosa's roar was different. She pulled back her fist and slammed it into the fountain pen that was still sticking into the goat head's eye. The pointed tip was gouged into the depths of its head. Christ, Rosa, you're fucking crazy.
Mama, the bullet went in!
Good job! When Rosa grabbed the gun Maria had thrown, the giant finally tumbled on the ground with a thunderous crash. However, at the same time, I saw the goat head pursuers on the other side of the rose bushes increase in number. I've gained enough distance for now. I held onto the blanket wrapped around the ingot and the gun, and once again ran with Maria. Why am I running with a gun in my right hand and the gold in my left? Why don't I let go with one hand and grasp Maria's hand? I can't let go of the gun that protects my body. I can't let go of the gold that protects my future. But even so, I've got to let go of the hand of my daughter, the one who is my future? Run, run, run. She got out of the rose garden and began to run down a staircase through a grove of trees. But Rosa knew. This path through the grove turned and twisted many times and only seemed to be long. She tore straight through it. She had played here often since her childhood years, so she knew. To the beach, to the beach, to the sea, to the sea, to the sea. And after reaching the sea, nothing to do but swim, swim, swim. And if Maria can't swim, I'll carry her as I swim. There's nothing but death on this island.
Mama?
As she raced down the stairs, she took a bad step. A violent pain ran up her left ankle, and her mind went completely blank. Rosa fell down several stairs, shocked by her ankle, which was bent at an odd angle. And the blanket with the ingot wasn't there. She had let go of it the instant she fell, and it had disappeared somewhere into the darkness. Only the gun was left. Tremors in the earth were getting closer. It was only a matter of time before the goat heads flooded in. She didn't want to imagine how many there would be, or how strange they would look. What the hell is that? Oh, there's a squirrel running outside, okay. The lightly dancing gold pursuers arrived. The gold butterfly surrounded Rosa and Maria, waving and clamoring as though saying, "The prize is here, the prize is here." Rosa couldn't even try to get up. The violent pain from her broken ankle was so great that she couldn't ignore it, even in her last moments. Oh, what am I doing? I had the gold, which would have been worth several million yen. I might have been able to start over with that. And yet I fell, lost it, and now my own life is in danger. And Maria's too? What has my life been? I was born into an incomprehensible family, with irritating older siblings since the day I was born. What did I do? No matter what I did or didn't do, I was always in trouble and bullied. I was always in trouble and bullied and made fun of. What has my life been?
Mama! Mama! Mama!
The roar inside Rosa's heart shriveled away and disappeared. It disappeared when she heard Maria's crying voice as she sobbed and clung to Rosa. Maria, Mama remembered something she's got to do. Please go on ahead.
No, 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 no! I want to stay with Mama. I don't want Mama to die.
Maria, even though I'm such a bad mama, you still say you want to stay with me?
Yeah, I want to stay with you. I want to stay with Mama.
I made it look like I was putting you first, but I was always putting you off. I went to your athletic meet. I went to Parents' Day, but I was always thinking about how I appeared to the world and you were never in my eyes. Are you saying that you want to stay with that kind of mother? Even though I've been such a bad mother?
Hey Mama, did you know? You're my only mama in this world. There's no good mama or bad mama. There's just one mama. So I don't need any other mama in this world. And I want to be your one and only Maria. The Maria you want to spoil when you're in a good mood, and the Maria who's a nuisance and you don't want to be around, aren't different people. There's only one Maria. So the scary mama and the nice mama are the same. To me, they're my one and only mama.
I was such an idiot. I didn't need gold. If only I had just pulled you by the hand. I was such a stupid mama. The shadows of the goats covered the sky even more thoroughly than the trees of the forest. Their roars blotted out the world with fear. This is a long, epilogue. Rosa, still hugging Maria, readied her gun with one hand. Maria, let's go together. We shall go together. I'll never leave you. Let's always stay together so that Mama never gets lost again.
Yeah, we'll be able to see each other real soon. We'll be together forever. We'll be able to see each other in the Golden Land. And then we'll play together. Play with the wolves and sheep puzzle. Mom hasn't solved more than one of the puzzles, but I've solved them all. So I'll be the riddle giver.
She had bought it as a birthday present and then hadn't played it with Maria after that first night. Yes, we'll play together, I promise.
Mama!
And then they died. Those eyes, sparkling like red-hot lava, looked just like a group of fireflies. They danced closed in and attacked. Ah, come on! Let whoever wants to eat... Ah, come on! Let whoever wants to eat the bullet Maria chambered for me step forward! Ah! Up. When the seagulls cried, there were no survivors, and then they died. And then there were none, for real this time, except for maybe Genji. Yeah, I'm still alive, I'm just taking a nap. You know, the usual. Well, piss. Rip. Why'd it give me the Banquet of the Witch achievement? Which I can only assume means beat chapter 2, then. Oh, because it gave me another one. Muso. Okay, whatever that means. Addition of new features, the Golden Witch has prepared... Okay. Do we have more credits? Nope, it's just back to the title screen. Okay, so yeah, I'd imagine... Yep, there's another tea party. And is there one for this too? No, but I'll imagine it'd give it to us after this one. And fuck this bell. Seriously. Controls? I can change the text speed? I never noticed this. Toggle full screen window mode, toggle auto mode, toggle fast forward. What? I did not know I could change the text speed, but whatever, I'm fine with it as is. Regardless, I guess that's it for chapter 2. Huh. Well, that was a thing. Okay. They died. Rosa and Maria definitely just died there. I don't know what happened to Genji. He's probably okay. But whatever. That's good. Wait, it said none were left alive, so Genji did die. Okay. Whatever. That's gonna be it for this episode. Next episode, we'll do the tea party. And yeah, this was a longer episode, so I hope you enjoyed it at least. It was a really, really good one. Lots of good writing, epic things. Battler yelling at Rosa, and Rosa yelling at Battler, and Rosa breaking her ankle because she's bad. Whatever. That's gonna be it for this episode. If you liked it, be sure to press the like button, and if you didn't like it, fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!